Today is October 24th. Welcome to Big Book Daily. My name is Rob. I am an alcoholic. It is a thrill, honor, and joy to be here with you today as we journey through the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous and the 12 steps and 12 traditions. Today out of the Big Book, we're going to continue Chapter 7, Working with Others. We'll read page 101. Out of the 12 and 12, we will finally finish, I believe today, Step 12 by reading page 125. And we'll read today's 24 hours a day and daily reflection. Hope you all are doing well this morning, my friends. Once again, we've been given a brand new set of 24 hours. That's always a good thing. Another chance to work the program, another chance to do the right thing. So with that, let's get to the good stuff. Out of the Big Book, we're on the bottom of page 100, and we will read 101 as well. Assuming we are spiritually fit, we can do all sorts of things alcoholics are not supposed to do. People have said we must not go where liquor is served. We must not have it in our homes. We must shun friends who drink. We must avoid moving pictures which show drinking scenes. We must not go into bars. Our friends must hide their bottles if we go to their houses. We mustn't think or be reminded about alcohol at all. Our experience shows that this is not necessarily so. We meet these conditions every day. An alcoholic who cannot meet them still has an alcoholic mind. There is something the matter with his spiritual status. His only chance for sobriety would be someplace like the Greenland ice cap. And even there, an Eskimo might turn up with a bottle of scotch and ruin everything. Ask any woman who has sent her husband to distant places on the theory that he would escape the alcohol problem. In our belief, any scheme of combating alcoholism which proposes to shield the sick man from temptation is doomed to failure. If the alcoholic tries to shield himself, he may succeed for a time, but he usually winds up with a bigger explosion than ever. We've tried these methods. These attempts to do the impossible have always failed. So our rule is not to avoid a place where there is drinking, if we have a legitimate reason for being there. That includes bars, nightclubs, dances, receptions, weddings, even plain ordinary whoopee parties. To a person who has had an experience with an alcoholic, this may seem like tempting providence, but it isn't. You will note that we have made an important qualification. Therefore, ask yourself on each occasion, have I any good social, business, or personal reason for going to this place? Or am I expecting to steal a little vicarious pleasure from the atmosphere of such places? If you answer these questions satisfactorily, you need have no apprehension. Go or stay away, whichever seems best. But be sure that you're on solid spiritual ground before you start, and that your motive in going is thoroughly good. Do not think of what you will get out of the occasion. Think of what you can bring to it. But if you're shaky, you better work with another alcoholic instead. Out of the 12 and 12, we're on step 12. Having had a spiritual awakening as the result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs. Page 125. These little studies of AA's 12 steps now come to a close. We have been considering so many problems that it may appear that AA consists mainly of racking dilemmas and troubleshooting. To a certain extent, this is true. We've been talking about the problems because we are problem people who have found a way up and out, and who wish to share our knowledge of that way with all who can use it. For it is only by accepting and solving our problems that we can begin to get right with ourselves and with the world about us, and with Him who presides over us all. Understanding is the key to right principles and attitudes. And right action is the key to good living. Therefore, The joy of good living is the theme of AA's 12th step. With each passing day of our lives, may every one of us sense more deeply the inner meanings of AA's simple prayer. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. "24 hours a day, October 24th. AA thought for the day. Fourth, I have turned to a power greater than myself. Thank God I am no longer at the center of the universe. All the world does not revolve around me any longer. I am only one among many. I have a Father in heaven, and I am only one of his children, and a small one at that. But I can depend on him to show me what to do and to give me the strength to do it. I am on the way, and the whole power of the universe is behind me when I do the right thing. I do not have to depend entirely on myself any longer. With God, I can face anything. Is my life in the hands of God? Meditation for the day. The grace of God is an assurance against all evil. It holds out security to the believing soul. The grace of God means safety in the midst of evil. You can be kept unspotted by the world through the power of His grace. You can have a new life of power. But only in close contact with the grace of God is its power realized. In order to realize it and benefit from it, you must have daily quiet communion with God, so that the power of His grace will come unhindered into your soul. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may be kept from evil by the grace of God. I pray that henceforth I will try to keep myself more unspotted by the world. Daily Reflection, October 24th. By faith and by works. On anvils of experience, the structure of our society was hammered out. Thus has it been with AA. By faith and by works, we've been able to build upon the lessons of an incredible experience. They live today in the 12 traditions of Alcoholics Anonymous, which, God willing, shall sustain us in unity for so long as He may need us. 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 131. God has allowed me the right to be wrong in order for our fellowship to exist as it does today. If I place God's will first in my life, it is very likely that AA, as I know it today, will remain as it is. Alright, my friends, that concludes today's reading. Great stuff as always. Really like the big book explanation here. You know, early on in my recovery, I did have to avoid these places. There were certain triggers for me that, oh man, my brain was still pairing alcohol with that particular activity. Now, like I've said many times, I think I am a hockey nut, and of course it's late October right now, so we're in the full swing of the season here. But I always drank, well not always, but most of the time when I watched hockey, I would drink. That was one thing. So it was hard for me to watch hockey for a while without drinking. And it was hard for me to play guitar for a while without drinking. Public places, it wasn't as hard for me. I didn't really drink out in public much. But there's a lot of my friends that do, or that did, excuse me. And they had the same issue early on. They had a hard time going to these certain places without a really overwhelming desire to drink. So I'm glad that on 101 it says, Our rule is not to avoid a place where there is drinking. Here it is in italics. And remember, italics in the big book were very important because, one, in the first printing, it cost a lot of money for them to print that kind of font. So, for them to put it in italics, it must have been important for them. But it says, if we have a legitimate reason for being there. So, as it says here a little bit later, check our motive. Be sure that you're on solid spiritual ground before you start. Are you trying to work the steps? And then check your motive. Are you going because you really want to be there for the wedding? Or are you going because it's a business meeting and you feel like you should be there? Or are you going because secretly you kind of want to drink? Or at least maybe flirt with the idea of it. Over the years, I've heard some really practical advice like, make sure you carry a soda with you or a glass of something. So if anyone offers you a drink, you can say no. Make sure you have a way out. Take your own car if you need to and make sure it's parked in a place where you can pull out of there immediately if you get the idea of wanting to drink. Maybe bring a trusted friend in the program with you if you can help it. Or at least a friend that knows of your situation and kind of hold you accountable. These are for the early days. But there's always little tips and tricks to kind of help. But in the end of the day, you always have a choice. So we should just check our motive and make sure that we make the right choice for us. So with that, that's all we have time for today, guys. As always, I don't speak on behalf of AA or NA or Al-Anon or any other sect, denomination. I'm just a friend in this lifeboat of recovery, and I'm grateful that you're here with me. If you ever want to send us an email, our email is bigbookdaily@gmail.com. I really love hearing from different perspectives and different people about the program and everything and their experience, strength, and hope. So I'd love to hear from you. So, my friends, if we are given another set of 24 hours, I sincerely look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow.